Alright, I want to keep this intro as short as possible due to the very long video. Obviously you don't want to watch every command, so there will be timestamps for every single command in the description, so you can just skip to what command that you want. This video took way too long to make and set up, so if you do like it, please consider leaving a like, and if you want more command block videos in the future, subscribe and tell me in the comments what command creation or something that you want to see, because I will be doing that. Like, my next one is going to be on payload, like a payload system where one team pushes it, and if another team is on the payload as well, it will stop the payload from being able to move. We're having a video on that. It's very simple and straightforward, but don't want to make this intro as any longer, so just enjoy the video. If you like it, please like and consider subscribing. Thank you. Alright, starting this video off is the slash question mark. I'm going to speed this very quick because we've got a lot of commands to go. Slash question mark just tells you a very brief description of every command, and you can also do slash question mark number to go to a page, or you can do slash question mark and then the command to get a very brief description on what it does. You could also as well just do the command without running it to get a description, but the slash question mark and slash help would be a bit more in depth of a description. Moving on. The slash ability command. The slash ability command is very good for servers and stuff. The sort of thing, it's what a player can and can't do. For example, may fly. So we can no longer fly, and that also works in creative. We can't fly, as you can hear me trying to fly. But for example, if we were in survival, we can fly if you get given the rank while in survival, as you can see. But because in Bedrock, if you're flying over lava, you may get set on fire because you'll be teleporting up and down on other people's screens. It's very weird. Oh, and you will also take full damage. So keep that in mind if you're going to be doing that. Alright, so there's the command for that. You'd put your name or at A or tags or wherever you want. And then the mute command is very simple again, very useful for servers. So if we try and talk, we can talk, as you can see, but if you're muted, you will not be able to talk at all. I don't think you'll be able to slash W or anything. You can't do anything once you're muted within chat. You can still do commands and stuff though. Keep that in mind. Anyone can be muted as well, even if you're the owner, but I don't think people can mute you if you're the owner, but I'm not fully sure on that. I'll have something on your screen telling you if you can or can't. There's the command to get rid of it as well. Alright, next is worldbuilder. Very simple. If you can and can't build on someone's world, if the world has been set to a certain state, there's a command down there, I can't remember at the top of my head. But right now, worldbuilder is not working properly. For me, anyway. I've had multiple people try it for me, and it's not working as intended. It's meant to be that you can build or destroy the world if you have the setting to false. I mean, true, sorry, true. You'll be able to break and stuff. But if it was false, you shouldn't be able to break, but it's not working at all. If it's a me problem, I'll have something as well on the screen. That's how you do that command. So, long story short, if I did slash ability, you do the player's name. So, for example, let's say we want everyone to be able to fly. You'll do may fly. You also have your options, may fly, mute, or worldbuilder. And depending on what you pick will depend if it's true or false. Alright, and there's all your things. False to make it so they can't fly. True to make it so they can't speak. And false so they shouldn't be able to build. Moving on. The alwaysday command does what it says. If it is false, it will be able to change time to whatever you want. But if it is true, it will go to about midday and you won't be able to change the time. Camerashake. The camerashake command is very useful for map creations and it's very straightforward what it does. It shakes the player's camera. There are 3 different types that you may use. There is positional, rotational, and both of them you just leave it blank. So this is what this looks at the lowest setting. This is what this looks at the lowest setting, and this is what both of them look. And then you can go up to 4. You can do 0 point stuff like that as well. And this is what they look like. Alright, so how the camerashake command works is you do /camerashake. Then you'll do add. There is no other option here, so you have to add. Then you'll do who you want. Let's say we want all the players. And then you want the intensity. That is either 1 to 4. You can do point and stuff. For example, if we did 2.5, that would work. Then how long you want it to go for in seconds, not ticks. So we'll do 2 seconds, and we'll do rotational. And that's how you do that. Then you'll press go, and it will just work. Moving on. Alright, so the /clear command is very, very straightforward. Just clears the player's inventory. If you do /clear their name, it will clear their full inventory, no matter what they have, no matter where it is, including armor. But you can make it so it only clears certain things by doing clear their name, the block, the ID of the block, and then how many. So for example, this is going to clear 32 grass blocks. And as you see, we now have 32. And if we clear again, we get all of those grass blocks, fully gone out of our inventory. The clearspawnpoint command, pretty straightforward again. It clears a player's spawn point. So we'll set our spawn here. This is what the command looks like. Spawn point, the name, and then the coordinates. That is just that diamond block. This will then kill us. And as you see, we spawn here. And we should always spawn there because of my world respawn radius settings. You can change that within settings of the world. Just under game. At the very... here. As you can see, I've got it there, so it'll always be exactly there. But, for example, now, if we used that, it would clear it no matter what it is, including bed spawns and everything. Then you'll go back to the world spawn. The /clone command. So these commands are going to be as straightforward and basic as possible. So, the /clone command can be very useful, but for the purpose of this video, it's going to be very straightforward. So, if I had a furnace with coal in it, I had a barrel with blocks in it, I had an item frame with a block in it, a chest, or a block there, or whatever, it will clone that and paste it to where you want. So, how that works is, you do /clone, the first 6 coordinates will be where you want to clone from. So, for example, the 915571005 is here, and then the 948571005 is to just here, and then those last 3 coordinates, 943561005, is just here. I would be very careful using this command, because sometimes it may not paste where you want, and it may paste the other way and destroy stuff, so be careful using that. But why this is different between the /structure command is, because, say for example, I put that there, and then clone it, it will change and clone whatever is there. So if I got rid of that and cloned it, it would change. So let's show you some other little options you have with the /clone command. So if you do /clone, and you would put your coordinates in, I ain't gonna put that in just for the purpose of the video. You can do filtered, masked, or replaced. Masked will just go over stuff and won't destroy any blocks. That is A. So, for example, as you see here, this was A, and if it was masked, it wouldn't get rid of that. /connect command. It attempts to connect to a WebSocket server on the provided URL. So you'll need a server for this to work. That's all I can say. I can sort of help you the best I could. But if you don't have a server thing, you're probably not going to be using this. You'll just put the connect and then the URL there. Moving on. The daylock command. The daylock command is different from alwaysday. For example, if it is true, it will keep the sun wherever it was, or moon wherever it was. It won't change it. But if it is false, it will then move. But if you have alwaysday on, it makes no difference. Very, very simple command there. Just do daylock true or daylock false. Moving on. Alright, the /deop command. The /deop command just does what the /op command does, but the opposite. So, say someone has operation powers on a server, so they can use commands and teleport. If you do /deop, you do /deop, and then the name, it will take the ability away from them to use commands and teleport. Please note that they'll still be able to activate commands, obviously, but won't be able to edit within commands. Moving on. Alright. The /difficulty command is a command that you probably wouldn't use because you can do it within settings, going to game and changing the difficulty there. But say you've already stopped the game and you don't want to do that, you can just change it with the /difficulty command by doing peaceful, normal, and hard. But if you do peaceful, it will obviously get rid of all the mobs. If you do it to normal, it will then allow the mob back. So what you do is you just do /difficulty, and then E for easy, H for hard, N for normal, and P for peaceful. You can also write the full word out if you want to, instead of just doing the preset thing, if that's easier for you. Moving on. The /effect command. The /effect command is also very useful for multiple things. You can also affect mobs with this. So for example, if you do effect, King of Gaming, blindness, 10-225 true, the 10 is how long, and then the 225 is the strength. Anything above 20 usually will be the same onwards, because there is no individual setting. It usually goes like strength 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then anything above that will usually be about the same. So just be careful messing with high numbers, because they're most likely all going to be the same. But if you end it within true, you'll see that we have no particles, no particle effects at all. So that's how you can be truly invisible. If you did effect invisibility 10-225 true, then you wouldn't have any particles. But if it's false, or you just leave that empty, you will have particles, as you can see. So the /enchant command can be used for a lot of different things. For example, checking what item you're holding within reason, because the /enchant command can only work on items that can get that enchantment. So for example, our chest plate, we're going to do it via the ID. So 4, if you know the ID of your enchantment, you can do enchant King of Gaming, the ID, then the level, for example. So that will be project, can't say that word, sorry, protection 4. But you can also do it the easier way with just the name and then the level, and then it works.
But say if you had something that could not be infected with that, it wouldn't work, and it would say that they couldn't be infected by the enchantment. So that's how you can check if they're holding certain items within reason again, because you can get an output for that and check if they're holding something that can be enchanted with protection. For example, moving on, /event command. The /event command is very useful as well for map makers, maybe not for the everyday Minecraft dev, but for example, if we summon a villager in, that is a zombie villager, we can use the /event entity name is subscriber, just so it's that villager _converted, because we're going to force him to be infected by that event, because he's a villager and you could cure him, so we can force that by doing that. As you can see, he will eventually change to it. Let's just show you how that would work. So you do /event entity, because you don't have any other options in Bedrock, and then the entity. You've got to make sure that the entity can be affected by that. For example, if I did this to myself and did the villager conversion, it wouldn't work because I can't change from a zombie to a villager. Just keep that in mind. Moving on. Alright, so the /execute command is very useful for more high-tech command block creations, but in the simplest way possible, it does a command for you or someone else. They don't need to be opt to run this. So for example, if I do this, it will make me say that instead of the command block. This is also very useful for if, say, you want to summon an item on someone, you can do it with this /execute command, and they don't have to be opt for that. Also remember that the /execute command also comes with its own special commands that can only be used with the /execute command. So you do that, summon whoever you want, the squiggly lines, and then you can do any command within the game anyway, but you will have some different commands like detect and stuff like that. I won't be going over them in this video just because it would take too long. And also, you don't have to do the / when you're doing /execute. You can just run it like that, and it would still work. So that's a very, very simple version of what you can do with the /execute command. Alright, the /fill command is very useful. Obviously, it's probably the command you may have used the most. And there are all different versions. There is, if you do /fill your area, your block, and nothing else, it will be solid. From all of those coordinates, it will be solid everywhere. You can also do this with A, and it will just remove everything. And then your other option is destroy. So if you do /fill the coordinates, the block, then you'll need to do an ID. If you're using concrete or something, you'll have to check what ID for your colored concrete block is, because if that was concrete, 0 would be a different color than 1. Because it's diamond block, it has no different variants, so I just put 0 in. But if you do destroy, it will destroy any blocks, not just by getting rid of them, but will also drop it. As you can see there, it will drop the items like it's been mined or broken. This also works with air, so you can get the blocks if you break it with air. You can also do /fill, your coordinates, your block, your ID, then hollow, and it will make the inside of your cube hollow. But just note with this one, if there are blocks already in here, for example like this, one second, let me just get a better place, it will get rid of the blocks within here, as you can see there. It will not care what is in there, it will get rid of it. This also works with air, but there's no point because it'll get rid of the blocks anyway. The /keep command. The /keep command will keep any blocks that are already in the area. For example, shouldn't have used them. You can't use this with air, obviously. So for example, if we did this, something like that, and then did /keep command, as you can see, it keeps them there and will not replace any in there. This also works with liquids. So for example, if you did this and did /keep, it will not change the water. No matter if it's flowing at the very lowest, it will not change anything other from it. And you can't use it with air. The /outline command, /fill coordinates down block 0 outline. So this is pretty much the same as one of the others. As you see, it just does the outline, but if you do that and then do outline, as you see, it will keep anything that is in the middle, including liquids and anything in there. It will keep anything that's in the middle. So it's a bit like the /keep command, but if you want to keep stuff within the middle, you can use this one with air. As you see, it will keep any in the middle there. Then the /replace command is very useful. So it's a bit more complex. You'll have to do the coordinates, the block, 0, replace, smooth, stone. That's just the block I've picked. Note the first block you put is what block it's going to change into it. The second block you put is going to be what block is going to be changed. But if I run this now, nothing will happen unless there is stone here, and I will only change the smooth stone. And if there's any other blocks, it won't change that. It will only change with that. You can also use this one with it, and as you'll see, it will only get rid of the diamond blocks. Moving on. Alright, the /float command is one of the new ones as well, and it doesn't give you preset options like the blocks for /fill. They're all your options you can pick from. They will also be in the description, just because that would be way easier. You have the two options. You have push, pop, and remove. Pop and remove are the exact same. So push is just your way to say add them. You have to do /fog the player, push, pop, or destroy, and then what you want. So for example, we did Minecraft fog hell, and then it's called yes. This is, you need to name your fog something that you won't forget. For example, now if we do this, as you can see, the fog in the background goes to if I was in the nether. But to remove it, you do fog, Minecraft remove, and then the name that you just gave it, and then it will get rid of the fog. Very simple. Order from there all your options. They will be in the description, because there is no preset thing. For example, I'll show you what I mean by that. As you see, it's not giving me options to fill in. You will have to copy and paste them from there. The /function command is also another command that can't be used unless you're an add-on creator or something. But you can make your own custom commands with the /function command by doing what it says. Runs commands found in the corresponding function file. So you'll have to go to the game file and change it there. Can't make that any simpler. Sorry. Moving on. The /gamemode command. The one you've probably used as well a billion times. It's very straightforward. You do /gamemode, S, A, or C. So for example, this will be survival. Then that will be creative, and that will be adventure mode. The /gamerule command is also very useful for map makers. If you do /gamerule, and open them, you have all these options to pick from. There are loads, so I won't be going through all of them today. But for example, if you do /gamerule PvP true, that means you can, or it will happen, and if it's false, it won't. So if I did false, no PvP. The /give command. The /give command is also very useful if you want to give certain items to people, but it won't put them in a certain place. It will just give it to wherever it can fit. But the interesting thing you can do with this is data values. So if I do /give king giving their right pickaxe 1, that's how many pickaxes I'm giving him, and then their number is the ID data value. Because it's a pickaxe, its data value would be its durability, and that is pretty much the max. So I could give you this, and then it is a pickaxe that is, once you use it, is instantly going to break. There is no debate about that. So you can make some sort of custom shop or something if you wanted to make it so you could get a super god pick with like fortune or something, and it only has like a couple uses. Help command is the exact same as the /question command. Do /help number for the page, /help command to get a brief description on the command. The /immutable that word command is if the world can be broken, placed, break it. It's pretty much like putting the world in adventure mode. If it is true, no one will be able to break or place other from your world builders, but this is where this isn't working, because the world builders aren't working. And if it's false, everyone will be able to place and break blocks. This does work, but not if you opt. If you are opt, you will be able to break and place with ease. The /kick command. /kick command is very straightforward. Do /kick. /kick, sorry. And then the player's name. So for example, we're doing this. And then the reason, so let's just say that they broke rule number 1. And then it would kick them. But your admins or people that can use commands will not be able to kick you or other admins, I'm pretty sure. The /list command just lists all the players that are online. If you do it in a command block, it will only give the output in a command block. See how I'm the only one online? You can't do anything else after this though, as I'll show you what I mean. /list, you can't do anything else after it. It just shows you the players that are online. /locate command, I can't use it in this world because this is before Bedrock world and it's a custom super flat. But if I do /locate, you can locate any structure within Minecraft and it will tell you the exact coordinates of them. Order from the Y level, sometimes it won't tell you the Y level. So if you just want to know where the stronghold is, you can do /locate, stronghold, it will tell you the coordinates, then you can just TP to them. But they won't work in this world because it's a custom super flat, and I made sure that no structures would load. Moving on again. /me command is very weird. It's like talking, but as you see there, I do /h. But if I do /me, it would have a star. So let me do that. So let's do hello, and then let's do /me hello. Hello. As you see, it is different. This could be useful for map making if you want your characters to look different or stand out to chat or stay stuff like that. Because depending on what this command block is called will depend on who it says after the start. The /mob command, mobevent command, sorry, is it's very straightforward as well. Event enabled. If you do event enabled false, none of the events could work. So, for example, the Ender Dragon event or Pillager Patrol events or Wandering Trader events, they're the only options right now. So if you do Wandering Trader event false, the Wandering Trader will not be allowed to spawn in your world. and if you do true, it would be yes. Same with all the others. Moving on. The /msg command. It sends private messages to multiple people. So if you do /msg, you can put who you want in. So you would put the multiple people's names and then the message. It's like the /w, but where you can do multiple people. Alright, the /music command is also very useful for map making as well, because you can play songs directly to people. So you have play, cue, stop, and volume. But if you did /play, you would need the string of the track name. I don't have a list of these and I couldn't find one, but if I do find one, they'll be put into the description as soon as I find them. But say you find one, then you'll do the volume, then you'll do the fade second, so how long it takes to fade in, and if it plays once or loops. The one example I could find was recording.pigstep, so I think if you did record.wait or something, that would also work. And then if you did it, it would start to play that. I have noticed a problem with this though. It is wherever you're looking based. So for example, if I did that, it wouldn't work anymore. So that's a slight problem with it. But if we do /music stop, stop, it will stop all music. You can add your own custom music in here, so that's probably why this is useful, but you'll have to do game files with that. Moving on. The /op command. /op commands you've probably used as well. It just gives players the access to use commands. We do /op and then their name. The /particle command is also very, very useful, like very useful for map making. You'll do /particle, the name of the particle, and then the location. I will also have a list of these in the description. This is just my little example. As you can see, you could use that for however you wanted. There are loads of particles and they'll be in the description. /playanimation command is like the music command, but I have not been able to find any list anywhere of the names of any of the animations. So you would have to put an animation in there, but I can't find any list, sorry. The /play command, playsound command, sorry, is very useful again for making maps, and all of them will be in the description. There was too many for me to put into the command block. So you can do normal by doing play command and then your command and then who you want it to be, for example. But if you do it like this, you can do the length, the pitch, and another one. I will check what they are all now. Let's go to that. Gaming. The position where you want the command to be based in. Then you want the volume. So let's say we want it to be 1. The pitch. And then how low you want it to go. So say, as you hear the beacon here, it goes quieter towards the end. But if you put that last number there, it wouldn't go quieter towards the end. And this is all of them are like a weird setting. As you can see, the pitch is different and also the length. The /reload command is if you're using the /function command. So if you do /reload, it will update your functions, but you'll have to restart your whole Minecraft for that to work properly. Moving on. The /replaceitem command is very, very useful for map creation as well. And we can do it with furnaces and players. So for example, as we see in this furnace right now, it's got 5 coal, but I can't take it out because this is constantly changing the slot container ID 1 to coal block 5. as we can see, I can't take it out. But if I turned it off, I could take it out. And turn it back on, and can't put it back in either. So this is good if you want to put items in the chest, but sometimes I've noticed you can get away with taking them out. Very useful. Also, you can do it with players. You have to do replace entity player, slot, head, 1, and then what you want to change it to. For example, we'll do that. Then if we do this, you can put blocks on here. This will not work if you put banners. It won't have it will have a banner there, but you won't be able to see it on your head like in Java. Same with glass blocks or anything. As you can see, you can't see it at all. Even in default skins, I checked. But how the /replace command works, if you'll do /replaceitem, then block or entity. If you do a block, you will need the coordinates of the block, and it has to be a container. And then you'll put the coordinates in. Slot container, because you won't have any other option here. What I did is, for example, a chest has 37. I'm pretty sure off the top of my head. I may be wrong there. So you can pick what you want. Then so say that. Then what item you want it to be. And then the ID of the item. And that's that. You can also do it with entities. That's players, mobs, and everything. You do at A, this works with creepers and stuff. You can give them armor, and they have a chance of dropping the armor as well if you kill them. And then here's all your options, and then it's the exact same as what we just did before. Moving on. The /ride command is also one of the new ones. So you can do this with entities, but I find it to be quite annoying to work with. But if you do /ride, King Gaming, summon ride, horse, and then I for some reason can't pronounce that, sorry. But if you do that, it will force you to ride an animal of some sort. But if that command fails, for example, if you've got a baby horse, it would still summon the horse in. So be careful with that one. It does work, but if it's not rideable, for example, if I did that with like a slime, it would just spawn the slime and you would just stand there and nothing would happen. So you can only ride things that are possible to ride. But for example, a Ravager, you could force a Pillager to ride the Ravager because they can actually ride that. The /say command is very straightforward. You just do /say and it works in command blocks. This is also very useful to check how many entities are online. So if I do that, it'll say here, because they're all the entities that are loaded in this world right now. If there were items on the floor, it would say that. But if there were multiple items, it would say every item individually. Moving on. The /schedule command is used for map making again. And you can schedule if an action works on load, on the area loaded, and you can add them, and then circle, tickingarea, and all that. But you'll need a function. So again, you'll need to have access to the game files for that to work properly. Moving on. The /scoreboard command, you've probably seen this one in servers a lot, and it can be very useful for you if you want one. So we're going to add a scoreboard. So we do scoreboard object add subscribe dummy. You have to have dummy. In Bedrock there are no other options other than dummy. Then we're going to do scoreboard object is set display sidebar subscribe. Then we're going to do scoreboard players add. The only reason these speech marks are here is because there's a space. And then subscribe 0, because that's the score. And then we're going to add every player to subscribe with a score of 1 as well. So as you see, we have subscribe, King of Gaming, and this is better. And if you do that, it will be adding the score. And then to remove it, do object remove subscribe. I'll show you how that would look within the command block. Not command block, sorry, if you were running it normally. So you have your options, objects or players. Objects are, as we see where it says subscribe at the very top, that is what your objectives are. And then your players are the things that will be under that. If you want to do custom things, like this is better, for example, as we see that, you will have to make sure it doesn't have a space within it, where you'll do players add and then the name. If it has a space, you'll have to put them in speech marks. Moving on. The /setblock command works very similar to the /fill, but it can only work on one block, one by one. So select block to diamond. The default will just be a normal block and work just like that. Destroy works like it does with fill, but again, can only, set one block this time. Same with A, it will work with A, I just didn't do it for the sake of keeping the video shorter. /keep will keep anything that is there, so if there's already a block there, a door, a button, anything like that, it won't do it. You can't do that with A, obviously, as well. /replace, this will replace your block as well, but from what I've noticed, if you do /blah blah blah replace, but anything after that, it won't work. So this command is also not working from what I have seen. It just works like the first one. If I find out why that wasn't working, or if it fixes, there'll be something in the comments. It's very useful. Moving on. Setmaxplayers is very useful, again, for servers. So you can set how many players can possibly join in a world. But just note, this doesn't work properly. Like, you can't go over 16, because that usually just doesn't work. You can put it to that, but it will just say that the max is 30. That's the max, but you won't always be able to get 30 players to join. It won't happen. It won't let you. If there's 8 people, it may say in your friends list that it's out of 30, but sometimes it won't let more than 8 people join. It does say 1 out of 30, but the majority of the time it will lock at 8. Just keep that in mind when using that. It will usually lock at 8. Sometimes you can get away with it, but the majority it will lock with 8. Alright, setworldspawn does what it says. You do /setworldspawn, the coordinates, and then that'll set every player to there. It will remove their existing spawn points as well, by the way. And then that'll be the new where everyone will spawn when they join your world. So say you want to make a hub and you want everyone to spawn here, you can set the world spawn to those coordinates. And then that'll be the new world spawn. Note this won't affect where 0 is, or your coordinates, or where the ender dragon will start to fly to. /set spawn point does what that does, but we can do it to certain players, for example. So you do /spawn point. Sorry, I'll get to right in a minute. Alright, spawn point, and then the player, and then the coordinates. Very useful. Spreadplayers is very useful for UHCs. If you've ever played that, you'll know that they usually get in a certain area and you spawn randomly at a certain distance away from players. So you'll do /spreadplayers, the coordinates of where this coordinate is. But as you'll see, there's only 2 there. That's because it doesn't care about the Y coordinate. And then the 10 and 20 is the max distance and stuff. So if we do spreadplayers. Doing this all in one take, this is a horrendous idea. Do that, and then do spread distance, so how far away you want them to be from there. And then the max range in blocks, and then who gets teleported, so I'd recommend always doing at A. And as you see, we got TP'd randomly within those coordinates that we set. You should always spawn on the highest point, but be careful, sometimes that can go wrong and you'll spawn in the middle of literally nowhere in the sky. So just keep that in mind when using that, be very careful. But from my testing, it has been working fine for me now. That must have been when it just recently got added. The /stopsound command just stops sound for whoever you want it to stop for. So stop sound, King Gaming. So, for example, and then if we turn /stop command on, it would stop that sound instantly. Moving on. The /structure command can be used for way more, but as you know, I'm here to try and make it as simple as possible. So, with the /structure command, it is different from the /structure block. The /structure block has a way nicer UI, where you can set this block size, the offset, and all that very easily. But the /structure command can be used to load stuff that is pre-animated. I'll explain that now. So you do /structure save, the name, the coordinates, and then memory, disk, anything like that. And once you have saved it, it doesn't matter if you delete that. It will stay saved. But note, in Bedrock, sometimes if you reload the world, your structure that has been saved via a command block may not save all the time. So I would recommend always having a little room just in case where you can, if it hasn't saved, you can go along and save it again. So you can animate it. So if you do that, you do structure load sub, the coordinates where you want to load it to. Again, this is like the clone command. It could go the wrong way, so always be careful doing that. 0 degrees, that's the rotation. That none is the mirroring. Then block by block is the animation that we want to do. Instead of you have another option that is layer by layer. Then the number is how long it's going to take to do that. So this is going to take 10 seconds, and it's going to do it block by block. So if you press go, you see it's building it block by block. Some things, as you can see there, won't work by block, or if it's animated or anything like that, they won't work. It will also keep items in chests and everything. So if you want to make a cool door and you want it to just be quite done, you can do block by block or layer by layer. So everything there would get built instantly, everything in that layer instantly, and that layer instantly. Moving on, the /summon command, also very useful for map making. You do /summon, what you want to summon, and the coordinates. So for example, we're going to do /summon evoker underscore fang. You will also get helped with pre-filling them in. Then the coordinates, squiggly lines just one above, so it spawns one above the command block here. Things in using these commands, but there's still a lot of things that I wish you could summon that you can't summon it, like different types of potions. And you can also do it with names. You do summon pig, squiggly line T. Some things by putting something different here will make a difference for like if they're tamed and all that. And then I'd recommend just doing a random letter if you don't care, or doing T because that usually means tamed. And then do sub, because that's the name. You can do that whatever you want, and then when it spawns it in, it will have a name. For example, this pig is called Sub now, because we called him Sub. Shit Sub. No. So yeah, he is called Sub now. Moving on, the /tag command. The tag command is also very useful for command block creations and stuff. But here's the very simple uses of it. You can add and remove, and you can check if someone has a tag. So we are just testforing at a tag equals cool. So we're going to give King Gaming. So you do tag, their name, add, cool. So now I have the cool command. This checks, finds that someone in the world has the cool command, and then is activated to say /say. But if we remove it, as you see, that gets rid of it. That is a very, very basic version of /tag command. You can also use that on entities and everything else. It is very useful, but that is a very basic version of it. Moving on. The /teleport command does what it says. It's also the exact same as the /TP command. It's just longer. That's it. The name's just longer. So you can TP players, and you can TP mobs, including ender dragons and stuff like that. So for example, we can keep the ender dragon TP'd in one spot or moving around on the fly. Alright, so how we did that was, this is in a repeating always active command. We are teleporting at E type equals ender dragon, and it's just 10 blocks above this command block to keep him there constantly so he doesn't fly away. You can do that with any mob or any item, including items, XP, and everything like that. Moving on. The /tell command is just another way to do private messages to people. To do /tell at A, this is cool. It will privately message whoever you want it to message. You can do multiple people with that as usual. The tellraw is the same, but only with JSON messages. So again, you'll need to have access to the game files to have value of the JSON messages. So if you're on Bedrock, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and mobile, this won't be useful for you, only if you're on like Windows 10. Moving on. The testfor command, again, very, very, very useful command for map making and command block creations, but we're gonna do, this one is just test for King Gaming. So if King Gaming's online, this will give an output. Then this is a test for type equals item, and but if we drop an item, it will get picked up. If you do type a name equals and then give it a name, and then say this is called Bob. If you throw Bob on the floor, it would also pick up. You're just going to make sure it's the exact same, and if it has spaces, it has speech marks. Moving on. Testforblocks. The testforblocks does what it says. Test for if it's a block. So we are doing test for squiggly line. One above this command block. Sorry, the mic's lagging a little bit here. Time block. So it's always activated. So if it's a down block, gives an output. No down block, does nothing. Very simple, but very useful. Moving on. Testforblocks. The testforblocks is like that, but has more range. And I have only found real one use for this is checking if all the blocks are the same. So we have from here to here, but you also need to make sure it's here. It's very strange how this one works, and I'm still not fully used to it myself. But what I've found it is you put your coordinates in, where you want to start, where you want to end, and where you want it to also go. And if all the blocks there are the same, it will give off an output. For example, if we then changed all of these to white things, it will do that. Because instead of checking for a certain block, it's checking the tickingarea command is very useful for scenarios and stuff. If you want to keep a certain area loaded, I know this was always a problem for me till I realized this was a command. But what it does is it keeps any area loaded, so the redstone still works and command blocks still work. So you'll do /add tickingarea circle. I just did a circle because it's easier. Squiggly lines 1, and then I've named it red. 1, you can only go up to 8, I'm pretty sure, because it is chunks. I would always recommend going as small as you possibly can, because it is chunk based, not block based. Unless you don't have it as a circle, you can set it to exact coordinates, so you can only have it here to here, and that would stop lag. So if we add this, this would stay loaded. If we TP out and then TP back, okay. So as you can see, it stayed loaded. This would also work with command blocks and anything else that needs to be loaded to work. But if it didn't have one and we left and then came back, this would lock up like the usual redstone thing, like that. You would come back and it would be locked up, or it's just not working. So it's very useful to keep command blocks loaded if you need to keep command blocks loaded. For example, if you do need to do it and keep affecting everybody with blindness or night vision for the map, you can have a tickingarea on a command block that gives everyone night vision just in case they die, so they get it back instantly. Moving on, should not have done this in one take. The /time command, it's very, very useful as well. So if it's night, you can add and you can set. If you set it, you can have options like day, night, and thing, and it will automatically set it to day. But if you add, when I was getting this tested, I accidentally had this as repeating, and my son will forever be going at this, well, not forever, it'll be going like that for 4 hours and about 10 minutes, and I have not had the world open for 4 hours 10 minutes, so that's why it didn't work. But I'll cut to something of how it's meant to actually look for you. Right, moving on. The /title command, very, very useful again for map creation. So you do /title, who you want, action bar, and then the message. This would be action bar, that would be just there. Title, right in front of your screen, and subtitle, that they go under the title. There are some other options like time, cancel, not cancel, remove, I think. Oh no, clear, and stuff like that, so you can make it so they stay on the screen longer. So, but you have to do the times before you run it. So you'd have to do times, how long you want, and then run the action command. Alright, let's move on. Title, right, raw, or AW, is like the same as title, but where you'll need the JSON message again. So you'll need to be on not Java, you'll need to be on Windows 10 at least. Edition. I'm pretty sure it's called Windows 10 Edition. Toggledownfall, if it's raining, it gets rid of the rain. It's like the weather command, but no matter what, it will always just get rid of the rain. Because this is technically a desert, you won't be able to see the rain, but you'll see that the cloud, it'll get dark while we are thundering. And then if you ran the toggledownfall, there is nothing after it, it will then change it back to sunny and not raining, or thundering, or lightning, or snowing, or whatever. Moving on. The /TP command does the exact same as the teleport command. Alright, the /W command is also very useful. A way to private message people on the server. So you do /W, the person, and then the message. But please note, anyone that has access to commands that is a moderator or admin on a server will be able to see your /W messages. Moving on, /WB is worldbuilder. Again, this is not working, so you'll do /WB, and we'll have to put this in execute because there is no other options. It just toggles worldbuilder to true or false, a bit like the ability command, but we can do it to yourself. But again, worldbuilder is not working properly. The /weather command is again straightforward. You can do /weather, and then you can pick from your options. You do that, and it works. Very simple. Next, the worldbuilder command, exact same as the /WB command, no difference. Again, just longer. The /wserver command, well, wsserver, very weird. If you have a server, you can attach the URL and you can link them that way, a bit like plugins and all that. Again, but you'll need servers. And our last command is the /XP command. It just gives you XP. So, for example, we have this. Oh, I didn't put in taken range. S. And you see our levels. It goes up when we push this button. This can be useful if you want to give people levels some way, but just remember, you can't set what level they're getting. It's just how much experience points they get. So the higher the level they get, the more experience they'll point to need to level up. And that is it. That is every Bedrock command explained in the simplest way possible.